Honestly, this might be the most important number you'll ever ignore on a blood test. A 66-year-old man I'll tell you about today felt completely fine. His doctor said his blood work was normal, and yet every single thing he was blaming on getting older traced back to one slightly high number that nobody bothered to circle. So before you write off how you've been feeling lately as just your age, stay with me, because by the end of this you're going to look at your own paperwork differently. Let me tell you about this man. We'll call him Ray. 66 years old, retired, still mows his own lawn, plays with his grandkids, by every account a healthy guy. But over about 2 years he noticed things slipping. His energy in the afternoon just fell off a cliff. His stamina on walks wasn't what it used to be. His morning strength, the firmness he used to count on without thinking about it, had quietly faded. And here's what Ray did, which is what almost every man does. He shrugged. He said to himself, "Well, I'm in my 60s now. This is just what happens. And honestly, I get it. That's the story we're all handed. Get older, expect less." So Ray accepted it. Now here's the part that got my attention when I first read into this, and I want you to keep it in the back of your mind, because we're going to come back to it. Ray had been getting routine blood tests every year, and the whole answer was sitting right there on the page the entire time. Nobody drew the line between the number and how he felt. Not his doctor, not Ray. We'll get to exactly which number it was in just a minute. First, I need to explain something, because without it, none of this makes sense. Firmness and performance down there, the morning strength, all of it, that's not really a that part of the body event. It's a blood flow event, full stop. It depends on two things working: healthy blood vessels and a little molecule called nitric oxide, whose entire job is to tell those vessels to relax and open up so blood can rush in. Good vessels, good nitric oxide, good flow. That's the whole machine. So what wrecks the machine? One of the biggest culprits is blood sugar that runs a little too high for a little too long. And here's the catch that matters for Ray. You do not have to be a full diabetic for this. Even sugar in that borderline pre-diabetic range, the range a lot of doctors glance at and call, "Fine, watch it," even that quietly does damage. It injures the delicate lining on the inside of your blood vessels, a lining called the endothelium. That lining is exactly where nitric oxide gets made. Damage the lining, you make less nitric oxide, and the vessels lose their ability to fully open. The flow drops. And now the piece almost no man is ever told. The vessels that supply performance below the belt are small, much smaller than the big ones around your heart. So when this kind of damage starts, those small vessels show it first, years before. Which means circulation problems down there aren't really about that one area at all. They're an early warning light for the health of every vessel in your body. It's the canary in the coal mine. Most men get this exactly backwards. They think it's the least important thing, when really it's the earliest messenger. So now go back to Ray's normal blood work. The number was his blood sugar marker, his fasting glucose, and his A1C, the one that shows your average sugar over about 3 months. Both sat just slightly above ideal, not diabetic, just high normal. The kind of result that gets a "let's keep an eye on it" and nothing more. But that slightly high number was the exact thing damaging his small vessels, lowering his nitric oxide, and quietly draining the energy, the stamina, and the firmness he'd been blaming on his birthday. The age story was wrong. It was never his age. It was his blood sugar talking, and his body had been sending the message through the smallest vessels first. Now let me ask you to actually do something with me right now, because this is the part that makes the difference. If you've got an old blood test in a drawer, or you can pull it up on your phone or your patient portal, go grab it. Go ahead, I'll wait. Find 2 lines, fasting glucose and A1C, sometimes written hemoglobin, A1C. Look at the actual number, not whether it says normal. If your fasting glucose is creeping up over 100, or your A1C is sitting at 5.7 or higher, that's the pre-diabetic zone. That is your small vessel's warning light, and it may be connected to things you've been blaming on age. Just knowing that number puts you miles ahead of where Ray was. So what did Ray actually change? Nothing dramatic, and I want to be honest about that because this isn't a magic story. First, he started walking after meals. just 10-15 minutes after dinner. Moving muscles right after eating pulls sugar out of the blood without the body needing to flood itself, and it's one of the simplest things shown to blunt those after-meal spikes. Second, he changed the order he ate, vegetables and protein first, the bread and potatoes last, which slows how fast sugar hits the bloodstream. Third, he cut the liquid sugar, the juice and the sweet coffee, because those hit fastest and hardest. And fourth, he leaned into foods that support nitric oxide, the leafy greens, the beets, that kind of thing. And by the way, this is where, if you want, there's a natural blood flow support I personally like for this exact thing, supporting nitric oxide and circulation. I left it down in the description if you ever want to look into it. No pressure at all, it's just there. Now, Ray gave it about 90 days, roughly one full cycle of that A1C marker, because that's how long it takes for the number to actually move. And when he went back, the slightly high number had drifted back down toward normal. But the part he cared about wasn't the lab sheet. It was that his afternoon energy came back, his stamina on those walks returned, and that morning strength he thought was gone for good, gone with his youth, started showing up again. Because once you stop damaging the small vessels and let nitric oxide recover, the flow can come back. The machine was never broken, it was just being starved. I want to be careful and fair here, so let me say it plainly. This is not a cure and it is not instant. 90 days is a real commitment, and not every man will see the same thing, because everyone's starting point is different. And if you're on any medication for blood sugar or anything else, you do not change it or stop it on your own, ever. You talk to your doctor. This is about adding good habits, not subtracting your prescriptions. But here's what I really want you to walk away with. Don't accept it's just age as the final answer, and don't accept your blood works normal without looking at the actual numbers yourself. The earliest warning your body gives you about your vessels often shows up as changes in circulation down there, and one slightly high sugar number can quietly be running the whole show. Ray almost missed it. The answer was sitting in his drawer the whole time. So go find your number this week. Take that after-dinner walk tonight. Start there. And like I mentioned, if you want to check out the blood flow support I use, it's down in the description, totally up to you. You've got far more say over how you feel than anyone told you. Take care of those small vessels, and they'll take care of you. I'll see you in the next one. And just so it's said clearly, everything here is general information to help you ask better questions. It's not medical advice, so partner with your doctor on what's right for you.